Pandemic, science keeps moving forward. We had some great science come out this week from the annual heart meeting of the American College of Cardiology and annual lung meeting from the American Thoracic Society. Our 9 Health expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, joins us to talk about what studies she found interesting that impact our day-to-day life. Good morning, Dr. Kohli.
Hi, Corey. Good morning.
So tell us about a study you found interesting on lung disease that could affect everyone in the workplace.
This is very interesting. So this was, they looked at 5 printing companies in Singapore, and they looked at the emission of toner-associated nanoparticles into the air. And what they found is that people who work closer to a toner printer or any type of office copy machine can actually have changes in their lung composition of what bacteria, what fungus lives in their lung, and what inflammation they have in their lung because of exposure to these nanoparticles in the air. So obviously something for many of us to keep in mind, as a lot of us work in an office environment. This could certainly be impacting us, and something I hadn't thought about before personally.
Me either. Thank goodness I'm far away from the printer. Wow. So I love to sleep. Man, I love to sleep. I don't even know what that word is anymore. But tell us what this study showed when it comes to too much sleep and heart health.
So this was another surprise to me. So I love to sleep as well, and I like to get my 8 hours of sleep. But what the study actually showed was that the sweet spot for sleep is 6 to 7 hours. So if you're sleeping less than 6 hours, or you're sleeping, more than 7 hours, you actually have a higher risk of heart disease-related death, and you have more inflammation markers, one specifically called high sensitivity CRP, in your bloodstream as well. So now keep in mind, this only looks at the quantity of sleep. It's not looking at the quality of sleep. So that's a limitation of the study, but certainly very interesting in guiding us that there's a U-shaped relationship. So you don't want to be sleeping 10 hours a day. You also don't want to be not getting enough sleep. Try to shoot for that 6 to 7 hours as much as you can.
Yeah, I'm happiest at about 9 hours of sleep, but I get 5, so I'm like nowhere in there. So Dr. Kohli, let's talk about having a cocktail on the weekends or during happy hour. What did they find about alcohol and our health?
So good news there as well. Alcohol in moderation, which is less than 2 drinks a day, actually releases chemicals that reduce stress-related brain activity. So they looked at parts of the brain called the amygdala and the frontal cortex that are activated when you're stressed, and having that kind of moderation alcohol actually reduces those stress signals in the brain, and it's actually associated with a 20% lower risk of heart disease. So now keep in mind that alcohol does have health dangers as well. It can affect cancer risk, it can affect arrhythmia risk, all types of other things, high blood pressure. But drinking in moderation does appear to be a ritual that causes activation of stress responses that can actually be beneficial.
Everything in moderation, but it sounds like I need 2 glasses of wine tonight and it's just fine.
And 6 to 7 hours of sleep too.
Right. I'm going to work on that. That's tough with the babies, but I'll work towards the progress. Dr. Kohli, as always, thank you so much.